Haha, well, things have started to heat up for the Detroit Red Wings too. You know, we just made a video talking about the Montreal Canadiens and Jordan Kyrou, how apparently trade conversations on that front are up, and away. Buzz Lightyear, folks. However, my third favorite team, the Detroit Red Wings, also has some trade discourse that we should dive into today. And I will say, some of the sources here are not necessarily the most, what's the word? I don't want to be too disrespectful here, but it's not a Bob McKenzie or a Friedman or a Dreger going out there and talking about this. It is kind of just everybody else. So let's talk today about a tweet posted by Roger Hicks, NHL Insider. Now, I don't know necessarily if this is absolutely true. I don't know the credibility of Roger Hicks. I do not know if they are a legit NHL person. But the reason we're talking about this is because this tweet that they posted yesterday did go viral. It was talked about on various circles, and because people are talking about it, I wanted to talk about it too. I apologize that we can't go out there and 100% say that we are on the quest for the truth all the time. We are more so on the quest to talk about what is being talked about. But Roger Hicks went out there and posted this tweet that had 100,000 views. Things are picking up between the Red Wings and Erik Karlsson. It sounds like Jonathan Berggren is the center of the pieces moved from Detroit's side, and Erik Karlsson from the Penguins. Things are very early, but progressing. And Hicks quote-tweeted his own tweet from 2 days ago. This tweet had 300,000 views. Sounds like the Red Wings and the Penguins talks are intensifying regarding Erik Karlsson. Cap would be retained, not sure to which extent. More coming soon. And this definitely has gotten a lot of Wings fans up and excited about the possibility of Stevie Y acquiring yet another Swedish defenseman. Albert Johansson, Simon Edvinsson, Erik Karlsson. That would be great alongside of Axel Sandin Pellikka. Oh, you could have a top four of only Swedish D-men. Although we know you won't because Moritz Seider exists and he's probably going to be given a top role too. Erik Karlsson and the Wings, eh? Okay. Furthermore to that point, you had Ryan from the Grindline podcast. Of course, big shout out over to the Grindline guys. They're buddies of mine. I've been on their show. They do some great work. Ryan posted this on Twitter yesterday. Would you want Erik Karlsson in Detroit if the Penguins retain at least 40% of his salary? He makes the power play even better, and he can provide an offensive boost to a league-worst scoring D-core. Conversely, he doesn't improve the team defense, but offense is the best defense, right? And out of the 880 people that voted on this Twitter poll, 75% of Red Wings fans say yes. Now, I say Red Wings fans because, of course, Ryan is part of the Grindline show, and the Grindline podcast is a Red Wings-based podcast. I would doubt that they have many listeners of other teams that are voting on polls like this, but 25% of the people are saying that they don't want it. 75% are saying, yeah, I do. And all the replies go out there and talk about similar things. How Erik Karlsson can provide a really good transitory type of leadership role for a guy like Axel Sandin Pellikka, how he can be a top four defenseman whilst being that power play merchant. He had 100 points in a season after all. How many defensemen have done that in the National Hockey League? Very few. Erik Karlsson, of course, a multi-time Norris winner, 100-point scorer, was never able to capitalize on that same offensive toolset and replicate that level of success in Pittsburgh compared to San Jose, but wowzers is he still a valuable NHL defenseman who is making a lot of money, $11.5 million a year till the end of 2026-2027. Last year, though, Erik Karlsson posted up 53 points in 82 games played. At worst, he is a 50-point defenseman season per season. We could even see that in San Jose, things really weren't all too great there early on, especially because of Brent Burns' presence on that team. Sure, Karlsson was near point-per-game territory, but because of some injuries and because of Burns stepping on his toes, because both of these guys played a top right-handed defenseman power play quarterbacking style, you were starting to see a little bit of a surplus of that level of talent, and that held both of those guys back. So the moment Brent Burns ended up leaving, that's when Erik Karlsson posted up a 101-point season. Just phenomenal numbers. He still proved that he can be a top-tier defenseman in the NHL. But then he went over to Pittsburgh. Sure, his plus-minus improved, only for a season, but he wasn't able to replicate 100-point success. Now, I'm not saying that if Erik Karlsson were to be a part of the Detroit Red Wings that he would be a 100-point defenseman again, but I will bring up the argument, and I will say that if he was the top power play guy, you just gotta think about it. The Red Wings' power play was already really effective this previous year. They were one of the top power play teams in the National Hockey League for whatever reason. And I say it like that just because it is kind of surprising just to see how dominant the Wings were in 24-25, despite the fact that they weren't really that great otherwise. Yeah, team defense is a very important thing we're starting to note here. It's just the Red Wings did not really do too well in that respect, but ultimately, top power play team. You got guys scoring goals left, right, and center. You had power play defenseman production out of various guys the previous few years, from Shane Gostisbehere to Erik Gustafsson. Seider was also in that role too. Erik Karlsson would be a better power play quarterback than all of them. Like, I know that there are conversations you can have about him being old and all these other guys showcasing a lot of potential, but man, Erik Karlsson, he's a monster. It's Erik Karlsson. If there's salary retained on that deal, if he's not making $11-point-something million heading over to a team like Detroit till the end of 2026-2027, that is, 2 seasons worth of Erik Karlsson play? I get it, he's 35, but he'll probably produce a little bit more on a top power play like Detroit's as the top power play quarterback than he is in Pittsburgh right now. Like, I'm guessing he's probably capable of hitting 65, 70 points on the back end. And as was talked about on some of these replies, if he is there and Axel Sandin-Pellikka makes the team, then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, there you go, ASP. There's the guy that you model your game after. Watch him in practice, watch him in warm-ups, watch him on the power play, watch how he does his business, and you can do the same thing too. So by the time Erik Karlsson is 37 and his contract expires and he retires, then Axel Sandin-Pellikka can seamlessly blend into that role and have a similar impact in Detroit as Quinn Hughes does in Vancouver and that Lane Hudson has in Montreal. There is a very direct on-ramp for the way Axel Sandin-Pellikka can progress and develop with Erik Karlsson in the system too. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this trade update here that apparently, according to a very not anonymous, his name is right in there, Roger Hicks. According to Roger Hicks on Twitter, whose tweet ended up garnering a lot of attention from Red Wings fans. 300,000 views on the initial report, 100,000 views in the report yesterday, going over the extenuating circumstances. With Hicks's report posted on Twitter, you're having a lot of conversations from Red Wings fans about Erik Karlsson potentially getting traded to Detroit. Let me know in the comments all your opinions about that. Do you like it? Do you not? Do you think it's appropriate? Would you rather not make this trade? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.